Hello everybody, this is Thomas from Denmark coming to you with another video in my series on straight razor slash wet shaving. This video is about shaving with double-edged razors. They're also known as DE razors or safety razors. I'm not claiming to be an expert on this subject because my true passion lies with straight razor shaving, but I sometimes shave with a DE razor, and I've had a request to do a video on DE razor shaving, and I'm always happy to do requests for you guys. So if there's a topic that you would like me to cover, please feel free to post me a comment or an email on YouTube, and I'll be happy to make a video for you. I own 3 DE razors. I have the Merkur Fusion. I have the Merkur open comb safety razor, and I have this vintage open comb safety razor that I bought in an antique store, and this is actually made in Denmark, so I think that's real neat. Now, the way I see it, there are 2 kinds of DE razors. There are the ones with the comb. This is the comb. It's these metal things that stick out here. This provides a safety bar, so when you put it on your skin, it prevents you from cutting yourself too badly. It's kind of a safety device on a DE razor, whereas the Merkur Fusion, as you can see, has no combs, and there's a high risk that you cut yourself with this razor. And there's quite a big difference in shaving with these 2 different kind of razors. Of course, there are pros and cons with each razor. The good thing about this type of razor with no safety comb is that you can adjust the angle. Let me just try and get a focus on the camera here. There we go. You can see there are numbers down here, and if I twist it, it lifts the blade up and down, as you can see. This may not look like much, but it actually makes an extremely big difference in the angle that you have to place the razor on the skin in order for it to cut the hair. Now, when you have the blade lifted up very much, the angle is wider, and it's much more difficult to shave with. And let me just show you the safety combs here in a close-up. The safety comb razor cannot be adjusted in the angle, so it has one angle that it shaves in, and there's no adjustment to it. I would say that the safety razor is a good choice for a beginner, and if you like DE razor shaving and you would like to be a little bit more advanced, you should go and buy yourself an adjustable non-combed safety razor. Also, there's a big difference in these 2 razors. You can see it just by the size of them, and of course this razor is much more heavier than this razor. So what's the difference, and what does that mean for your shave? Well, the heavy razor, I'd compare these razors to weapons on a battlefield. The heavy razor is like going into battle with a big, 2-handled battle axe that has axes on both sides, and you can just swing and chop, and it'll chop everything down in your way, that being friends or foes. It will get the job done, but if you're not careful, you might hit some of your friends because it chops everything down. Comparing that to a shave, you can easily get razor burn and cuts with this thing because it just chops everything down. The lighter, smaller safety comb razor is more like a precision sword that you can stick with and hit one enemy at a time, it might require a little bit more work and a little bit more finesse, but it's a safer weapon of choice, so to speak. The safety razor disassembles. Most of them you screw out the bottom part, you lift up the top part, and this is in 3 parts as you can see, and this is the blade. You put it in there, you put this on, now it's assembled, and all I have to do is screw this thing in the bottom to keep it real tight. The future here simply lifts up, and you simply take out the blade and you can rinse the razor. You can put in a new blade and put it down like this. This razor is really heavy. The Merkur have actually made an even heavier razor called the Vision, and I simply cannot imagine shaving with such a heavy razor. This razor is already far too heavy for me. I very rarely shave with this razor because it's too difficult a task, and I don't shave with the razors often. So I definitely prefer the smaller safety comb razors. Let's get to the shave. Just to do things a little bit differently, I'm gonna face lather today. I have my coconut soap from GUF Trumpers that I've soaked in water, and I have my brush that I have also soaked in water, and I'm just gonna load the brush. Holding the soap upside down can sometimes make for a better loading of the brush. So I'm not making an überlather today, guys, but let me show you just a little trick for face lathering. As you can see here, I have my loaded brush. What I'll just do is I'll just put a squirt of glycerin directly into the bridle, I think it's called, the middle of the brush, and I'll just mix the lather with the glycerin directly on my face. Let me just get a little bit of hot water on my face. Yeah. I've had a number of emails and comments to my videos on YouTube, and I want to thank you guys, all you guys that have nice things to say, which is by far most of you. I think it's really fun doing these videos, and I'm happy to help out fellow wet shavers in any way I can. So please keep the comments coming, and please email me if you have any questions or any requests for new videos. Right, let's get to the lather. As you can see, a loaded brush with glycerin. Yeah, maybe you can tell just by looking at it. I can hear it and I can feel it, and I can definitely see it that this lather is way too dry. Never mind, my lathers often are, as I always like to add a little bit of extra water and moisten up the lather on my face. If you're thinking about getting into wet shaving and you're unsure of whether or not you should get a straight razor and the maintenance and everything, unless you get one with disposable blades, if you're not really sure whether you should jump into it or not, I would suggest that you get a DE razor and try it out first. They're not very expensive. They range from about 30 to 25 American dollars, and And of course there are much more expensive models, but you can get a fine DE razor for about $30 to $50. The blades are very inexpensive. I really can't remember what the blades cost. I think maybe $1 a piece, if max. I haven't really tried out a whole lot of different blades. The blades that I use are from Feather. You can buy sample packs at some websites. There are a lot of different brands out there, and the guys that are pro at DE razor shaving will tell you that they have their favorite brand and that you should try out different types of blades. I go with the Feather. I don't need to try out any other blades, really. That works fine for me. So here we go. You just gotta discover the angle, and you don't want a lot of pressure on it. The heavier the razor, the less pressure you have to apply yourself, and this is why a lighter razor is easier to handle than a heavier razor. Yeah, listen to the sound of that. That's awesome. Actually, I gotta say, even though I prefer straight razors, simply because I like everything about them, the nostalgia and everything, I gotta tell you, I get really good shaves out of this. It's easier to avoid getting nicked and cut if you're a beginner, and also if you're in a little bit of a hurry. I rarely shave when I'm in a hurry. I like to take my time, but every once in a while I am in a hurry when I have to shave. And then I'll use a DE razor. You're noticing the first pass with the grain here? These blades last a long time. I really don't know how many shaves I get out of a single blade. I think right around 10. It's difficult to get the part right below the nose. But it can be done. I'm going to an angle, and here I'm going straight up against the grain very carefully. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I think we have time for a second pass. I could go across the grain here if I liked, but I actually get quite a close shave just going with the grain. In the neck, I usually switch one pass up, one pass down, or sometimes I'll do half the neck up, the other half down, and then switch over on my second pass. You'll notice I can be fairly aggressive with this thing, and that's because it's so light and because it has the safety cone. If I was shaving with the Merkur Future, which is much heavier and has no safety comb, I would have to be a lot more careful when I did this, and it would look different. So there you go, guys. That's a shave with a DE razor, and a little bit about DE razors. Please feel free to post any comments you like. Thank you.